Okay, this is day 105, part 8. Wow. So this may or may not be, I'm into the kind of working theory here, or unverified, warning, warning, warning. But there's this Senior Executive Service, SES, and I think there's a couple levels, like 1, 2, and 3. And before Hillary Clinton, it really wasn't used that much. It was used maybe, like there was 1,000 SES, a very highly paid position. And when you appoint a SES, you immediately go in over all these other people who've been serving in government for over 20 years. So there was a lot of ill will over the SES. And I guess Hillary really expanded SES and added about 8,000 people to this SES service. And I was talking to this woman who was an SES, and she was kind of bragging about Hillary and bragging about Five Eyes. Five Eyes is the data sharing service. And she was saying that this is down by the National Harbor, G4S, where Rod Wheeler is, and the G4S headquarters there near Anacostia. And anyway, she was saying that, hey, she worked for an adjunct British general, and hey, all the data goes through GCHQ, and now with Richard Steele, this is really coming to the fore, that people now realize when the memo comes out that there was extensive use made of GCHQ, not just for this Steele dossier, way before that, years before that, through this SES service. And again, people were given security companies, and I know this is going to be hard for people to believe, but they were actually recruiting from people who had previously been felons, or people that they had been compromised in some way through some kind of operation that they had. And I don't know all the details of those operations, but so that's where the warning, warning, warning comes in. The part about SES is true. I know that. I know that she greatly expanded the SES, and it definitely feels like, especially in Washington, D.C., that there's a pall of people that just will attack you if you say anything about, hey, I'm investigating, corruption in Washington, D.C., especially in DHS or DISA or the Navy Yard or anything. Everywhere you go, just like, fangs in attack. But one of the interesting things they said about this methodologies of compromise, it goes all the way back to fraternities. So it's not just something that happens in a brownstone now where they try to, honeypot now, but it could also go all the way back to your fraternity pledging. Fraternity pledging, where there's the film or the cameras. Now, I was involved in a thumb drive incident. Well, I want to say incident, but I'll just say people know all about that in 2003. So I'm not going to say any more about that in New York, where I went to Chappaqua and I went to Kennebunkport. I sat in the chair that George Bush used to get his lobster in. But anyway, there's supposedly Phi Beta Kappa. They would go to the most exclusive fraternities, and I don't know who was doing this, but I'm guessing CIA, but go to the most exclusive fraternities and film these pledges doing these ridiculous things. And also Kappa Beta Phi. Well, it seemed a little unreal and a little unbelievable. I do know Phi Beta Kappa obviously are the creme de la creme of most colleges graduating. But it would be interesting to trace the SESs, there's about 10,000 of them, back to their college fraternities and see if they were Phi Beta Kappa or Kappa Beta Phi. Now, I don't really know what I've never heard of Kappa Beta Phi, if that's the woman's equivalent to the Phi Beta Kappa before it became co-ed or whatever, Kappa Beta Phi. But the interesting example, or the one interesting example, would be Wilbur Ross. Wilbur Ross, who is the treasurer, Commerce Secretary, the U.S. Department of Commerce Secretary. He used to be Pritzker in Chicago, and very rich family there in Chicago as well. And Pritzker, I can't remember her name exactly. But anyway, Wilbur Ross did the refinancing of Trump's debt for R.R. Rothschild and Son, I believe. I'm not sure, again. It's been a while since I looked at it, but I believe Wilbur Ross did that, and he kind of got the job as Commerce Secretary in exchange. So who knows? This is unverified. I'm just putting it out there for the researchers. It's late night. Don't watch this as verified fact. Watch it if you're a researcher.